Hello, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs, net.com. Today's May 2nd, coming up to midnight on May 3rd. Anyways, I wanted to show you where we're at with this AI thing. This is pretty powerful what I've created. In my case, I've added now in all my reports. Now I can do up to 50, and I've included Forex and Bitcoin, which is BRR, Ethereum, and all the other major futures and options reports that I've shown before. They've been cleaned up. I'll show you one afterwards. But the whole thing is now I can feed all of these into an AI and come up with a general suggestion on what I want to potentially trade. So what I did today was just I wanted to focus on only the low volatility. Okay. So if I wanted to do low volatility, I put up in my new well, yeah, it's a group now that I've got on my website, quantlabsnet.com under the group section. What we've got now is the ability to feed in, as I said, all these low volatile uncorrelated assets. Some of them that came out on top was Canada, uh, British pound. These are as if they're independent future contracts, euro, Swiss francs, and some other ones as well. So in here, this is right from the AI itself and the report. So here, I could have added a few more, or these are the ones it's going to focus on. Okay, ZQ, ZT, Canadian, and ZN. So these are low volatile assets. As I said, uncorrelated really. It gives me considerations here. It gives me what I should do to maybe long, short. Should I do an iron condor kind of option? All kinds of stuff. And I also gave it allocation of weighting in a portfolio of, let's say, $100,000. And then what it would do is it would say, okay, we will use 60 to 70% of it with a healthy cash buffer. Now, what it said was to get income was to sell these options because these are low volatile. And I'm going to have 60 to 70%. So let's say 30,000 left over after all these positions have been put on. And then be able to I'm now selling options. So if there's a problem, I have 30,000, 35,000 to take any bad positions on the other side. I think it's still risky. Risky, I wouldn't do that. And then again, this is just really important to majorly. This is not financial advice I'm giving you, obviously. It's just a simulation just to show you the capabilities of this thing. Yeah, it's AI upon AI. Okay. So in here, we need to understand what we're doing here is kind of risky. We have to monitor it, manage it. Is the data reliable? We have to assign all the different risk upon ourselves, the volatility risk, all the different types of risk. And then on top of that, it would give me all the different allocations on, as I said, 65,000 in margin for 20 ZQ condors, 150 ZT condors, 15 condors, and 150 ZN condors. And I thought that's pretty cool. So then what happens if I want to again, you can read this in full. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could take this strategy and develop a Python, uh, I guess you call it bot, as the youngins call it. Excuse me. But in fact, I did it. Uh, I created a simulated environment. If you see my prior video on something similar, Um, again, using AI to generate this, to say, okay, here are my parameters for the condor as recommended. What's the minimum positions I'm going to put on? And again, this is for selling. So in here we have our allocation on the budget, the tick size, and you can just update each of these. Now it's still kind of buggy, but here's the portfolio overall position in a simulated environment for value, 100,000. So it's currently losing money, which is, well, I mean, I don't care. It's not real. I've got a daily P&L, unrealized P&L, realized P&L. Here's a charting on the overall profit. In here, we could put in the current positions. That's a bug. In here, we have a different option chains, which I've talked about many times. So in here, this doesn't update for whatever reason, but still, I mean, I can just tell it fix the bug, right? And it usually will. And same thing in here if I want to do a manual trade as well. And then it's got an automated log. So it's pretty cool, man, to be able to do this, get uh, a working, actual working dashboard from this with a back end. So in the back end, now again, I'm using a WSL, simulated Linux and Windows. Here's the overall shell console of the app. All of this, it's a Flask app in Python. One thing I can tell you is don't do anything crazy with C++. If you see my last webinar, you'll notice that that had a C++ backend, JavaScript front end. It crashed and it just had a code, a segmentation fault. So those are really hard to debug, especially with AI. Here in the Python, it's really easy and it can be it can run on its own basically if you trust it. Also, you can use the debugging. It's a lot simpler. It's not high frequency. It's call it medium frequency. And as I said, you can fix the bugs. If you know what you're doing, you can do this. And it doesn't take much to do it. I started the whole things in about 4 hours. Okay. So let me show you the other terminal here. So this is the current console, as I said, and in here is the just Firefox. So that's running this session right here. I have to say this is really impressive. I'm still seeing people out there, the experienced auto systematic traders, saying AI is not helpful. I find that hard to believe now, as I've from the second dashboard I made now. Very short order coming in from the ideas, the reports I've got, and the overall conclusion of all of the instruments that I want to be able to run or to trade automatically, I might add. Oh, a major thing I have experimented with, this is all simulated. Uh, with the AI, it's so advanced now, you can put in the plumbing for all the API calls to a broker. Depending upon the broker, if it's popular, in my case, in most cases, of all the people I've talked to be able to use interactive brokers with TWS, Trader Workstation. It it bangs out the code, nice code as well, depending upon the LLM you want. And voila, you have yourself a customized trading bot app with a dashboard. 100% this time in Python. One thing I will say, because I said I want it only in Python, it's a Flask app, web front, which is pretty good actually. Nothing fancy. You can tell it what you want, what kind of charting, what do you want in the panel here, in the actual dashboard, um, and all that fun stuff. So, as I said, let me show you one of the reports. Now, I've shown this before. Anyways, let me, before I get to that, as I said, if you like this stuff, and it's going to get even crazier what I plan to do, you can do very deep um, quant if you want. You can do even as low level low-level FPGA if you wanted. Again, if it's not workable code, I don't know. But you got to be, I think you do have to be um, an experienced programmer to really take advantage of this. If you aren't, I'd strongly recommend you start with Python. It's the easiest language to master, and it's the easiest language to debug in. And it's easier to maintain all the packages and stuff. It's just way easier. If you're not, I wouldn't even consider high frequency trading at all. Anyways, if you want to know more, as I said, just go to quantlabsnet.com. Go to the form here under the Learn tab, and you'll get yourself also a C++ HFT ebook. It's free. I've had, oh, I don't know, 500 people since June, almost in a year, downloaded that. That's pretty cool. Thank you for reading. Okay, so one thing I wanted to do so I don't bore people, but if you're new, these are all the reports I have. So we can do, as I said, everything from treasury to rice to I mean it goes on. Gas, palladium, platinum, orange juice, the currencies like New Zealand dollar. We've also got natural gas, the Nasdaq, gold, lumber. It goes on and on. Japanese yen. I'm going to show you a few here. Let me show you the Bitcoin here. Okay, so these are standard Word documents. I'm not sure what I'm going to provide yet, and definitely the code I'll be able to do in a my elite programming because that's who it's really for. I don't think I'll do any teaching on how to use the AI to do this, but here this is one report of 37 that got generated today. I was able to generate up to 52. This is all still new, still lots of bugs to iron out. But still, just to be able to do this, it's I've cleaned it up, I've put it in the tables, blah 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 blah. This is the thing you want to watch, okay? If you're trading in this crazy market, I see no point in trading in highly volatile markets. Bitcoin's at 55% volatility annually. That's really high. It's kind of risky as well. Um, so I'm not here to bash Bitcoin. I just think it's very volatile, and I'm going to show you some other just for trading. So here we've got our same standard chart here for prediction using ARIMA in red. Uh, we got our hedge, what we call the hedge math. I won't I won't go into detail. I've done this a lot in the past videos. This is another important one for implied volatility. And again, this option chain is simulated. When it comes to crypto in the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Bank Exchange, um, they have Bitcoin and Ethereum now for the last couple of years. They just added Solana a couple of months ago. I can't add it for at least 6 months because of I need to get history on it. And XRP will be added in a couple of weeks actually. So I won't be able to do anything with those coins just because of the history I need to develop as it gets traded on the futures market, on the CME and the options as well. So that's just something important to understand. So as we got the predicted futures price here, a hedge math. Again, we have the implied volatility using the simulated option chain data. We have simulated Greek analysis. The call put is kind of important, as I've explained before, on the equilibrium of a market. People are into the risk frontier. Then there's the payoff diagrams. These are important strategies here that are available um, in this whole sphere of options trading. We have bullish strategies. We have call spreads, blah 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 blah, bearish strategies. Then we get into neutral. Then we get into uh, market. I believe market neutral. So you can see here we got sorry, hedging strategies. We've got the iron butterfly, and I said we got the condor as well. So some more sophisticated strategies. Uh, on top of that, we can go right into the hedging. We have the ability to calculate our base floor price, a future price on the floor. That would be your minimal downside risk. And again, it can do both from what I'm seeing, depending upon what's presented in the reports. The AI will be able to figure out should you sell options or buy options or set. Here's your strategy, your selected low volatile, uncorrelated options available, and they came back with an allocation on top of the best type of option strategy to go with. I mean, to get to that point as an idea, that's pretty powerful because that's the work of of I don't know how many trading desks covering everything out there in terms of all the major future markets and option markets as well. It's just unbelievable, like where I've come along, or how far I've come using the AI and the ability to do this. So again, we can consider arbitrage if we wanted. And one thing that the AI will always tell you is the risk on why you don't want to do this, because of arbitrage, as an example, takes too much capital, requires a lot of capital when you throw in the margin, so it might not be worth it. And the AI will be able to measure that risk as well. That's the amazing thing. So here, because in the report, I'm feeding it profit loss scenarios, also the different boundaries you can trade within the gold area. A lot of that gets overlooked by the AI. I don't know why. Um, Also depends upon the LLM that you use. We're also measuring hedge effectiveness, simulated. We also take a look at the optional hedging. We look at the hedge ratio calculators, the different hedging strategy scenarios that we could play, all the different advantages of just futures hedging or call option hedging, um, so on and so forth. Again, we apply the math. This is quant math. Again, okay. And then we can also look at the payoff diagram and on and on and on and on and on I go. So this is one typical report that we now, as I said, we now have. So I throw in a little bit of technical analysis. This can be very helpful um, as well for the moving average and the oscillator, which is kind of like the RSI. And we can analyze the different put options, call options, all that fun stuff. I mean, I don't know where it stops. It's absolutely incredible to get to this point. And not just have the reports get generated, but the conclusion, the summary of all of the available futures and options within 37 different markets, and build a whole summary around that, or just focus on low volatility or whatnot. Again, this is Bitcoin, okay? This is a Bitcoin report, just to refresh your memory, okay? And this is pretty killer. Okay, so as I said, we've got here um, also, we've got here oil, we've got all the different major currencies, and we just summarize it. So I put in as a sample in my group section that anyone can look at, that one report. I'll put all the links in the video description, because this is now pretty close to as far as I can take it with the simulation, with the automation built for this scenario for low volatility. It's absolutely mind blowing where we're at. I'm just kind of like blown away. Um, and again, you can build anything you want with AI. I'm not denying that, but you realize you will push the limits of it if you're trying to do what I'm doing. I don't like I could feed it over 50 reports in a one prompt, and it'll bring back that summary on what it would suggest to go with. But to build code out of that is very difficult. So, as I said, with the C++ backend, JavaScript front end is most likely not going to work. So, if you're willing to maybe work with the best, like the summary will work of all the analysis. That will give you an idea of what you should do and only focus on those that have the most profit potential. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that want volatility to get profit. In my mind, the reason I chose uncorrelated low volatility was because if you look at when they had that Liberation Day, you wanted to stick with one option people forget is you don't have to trade. You can sit in cash. But if you're like me, sitting in cash in US dollar, and I lost a lot of money just holding that US dollar over a while. I lost quite a bit, enough to buy a car with a really nice car. But that's been corrected. But I'm not going to sit here and cry about it because that was an extreme down move. But with the options of being able to now really eyeball all this and just really hone in to make these dashboards really top quality. One of the things you'll need to understand is when you get back the result, it's going to tell you not to use this with live money because the quality of the code you can't really guarantee, which I would probably agree with, because you probably will lose a lot of money if you don't do it properly. The potential's there for sure, but it's just mind blowing where we're at, and I won't say easy to do, but you can build some very sophisticated um, dashboards, we'll call it backends, whatever, with these customized strategies with these reports. This could be easily put together for equity. I purposely only wanted to work with, as I said, options and futures because I knew we would have the kind of markets we had at the beginning of April, just these extreme down moves where, maybe gold might not be the only one. What are the other options out there? When you look at some of the reports, there are some very good, low priced, uh, low priced instruments out there you can get into that are performing decently, um, and they're very low volatile, and they have nothing to do with the U.S. dollar, U.S. Treasury, or U.S. stocks. That's the sort of thing I wanted to build out. Here we are, we have the capabilities now, and it's all automatically generated. It just blows my mind. Again, if you want to know more, I strongly recommend you get onto the Learn tab here just to sign up, just to see what I'm doing. Also, I strongly recommend people now because I'm promoting the group section, the free one, just to show you the capabilities. Here, as I said, we've got what I just showed you. We can do Ethereum analysis. We can do, as I said, Bitcoin analysis. We can do uh, stocks to potentially trade as the market comes back. We also have got some forex and gold. It's endless. So we can cover both the micro and the macro. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good day, and over and out.